Good evening, everybody. Oh, and let there be light. Let there be light. Well, I'm still in birthday mode. And thank you so much, first of all, for all your good wishes over the weekend. I had a fabulous weekend, despite many of you may have seen my holiday disaster, which is actually for another just over a couple of weeks' time. But pop over to my private page for that. We won't go on about that. I'm pleased to tell you that all has been sorted, and possibly for the better. More of that later on, possibly, but I'm still in birthday mode. And so I am going to create a little something with one of the new stamps from Pink Ink Designs. This is one of the Fauna series, and it's called Puppy. I've also got the kitten one. Let me show you that as well, which is rather gorgeous. And you can see that there's quite a lot of stamps on it. So on the kitten, you've got two bigger kittens and then a small one, flowers, foliage, little paw prints, and a little sentiment, which I just love on this one. It says, "Dogs come when they're called, cats take a message and get back to you later." I like that. I like that. But I'm going to work with the dog one. This is especially for Tessa, because I think she's going to like this one, because it just looks like our Sam. So Sam it is. In the meantime, before I start on that little one, I just want to point out to you that because it is my birthday, I have an array of little misses that are on a special offer. So these are the We Folk series. So they're just tiny dies. Well, a fair decent size, 3 by 4 inches. But they're all with little mice. Ideal for if you like colouring and all that sort of thing. All sort of like different, like there's a golfing one and a nurse one, little doctor, little baby, all sorts of like little scenarios that one might have, and they are all on a special offer as well. So go and grab those if you want, because all of these are limited, I'm afraid. I might be able to get some more of the puppy and the kitten, but the mices, they are whatever is there is there. So let us start. Now, no measuring today, because I am going to be using in its entirety the Presscut Nesting squares, the plain ones. I've already used some of them to cut out some of my sizes. I'm going to work with an 8 by 8 blank card, and I have already taken, oh, should have said, if we count this time, we're going to count the biggest one as being number 1, and then we go down right to, I don't know, 20 odd or whatever it is. So the biggest one is number 1. So I have used die number 3 there, if I can get it out, die number 3, to cut myself a black piece of card, which is going to be for my card base like that. So that's my 8 by 8 card. I've also taken die number 6 on here, and I've cut myself out a piece of watercolour card. Okay, now the watercolour card I've used is not one that I stock, I'm afraid, but it's a hot press one, which means that it's smooth-ish. It's not that sort of textured one. I'm not keen on that personally, but there you go. So I'm going to bring in my stamp to impress, because I need to stamp to impress, and I've also showing you some of the new easy lift magnets. Couldn't think what they were called, so we've got them in place as well. You can see that they go blue with this, which is nice. So let's bring in my stamp set, and I'm going to bring in Sam for you. So these, here's Sam, but let me show you the other ones. We've got a little sort of spaniel, a little bit like Samantha Hughes's Meggie. Do you think that looks like Meggie? with her little hat on, and then a little Jack Russell. So that one's my little Bruno, I reckon. And then you've got a couple of words: trust the magic of new beginnings, and be cool, it's your birthday, plus flowers and foliage, that sort of thing. So, but we're going to use Sam. So Sam is the man, and Sam is going to sit in this sort of corner a bit, just about there, I reckon, roughly. So he's sort of in that bottom right hand corner. Now I want to do a bit of watercolouring with him. I found that watercolouring probably works particularly well with this particular technique, and so I'm going to use my VersaFine, and it's in Onyx Black. So I'm going to ink him up. Little Sam. Sam seems as if he's got a little bit of, oh no, it's okay. I thought he had a little bit of je ne sais quoi on the top of his head, because that would be Sam. That is just the sort of thing that Sam would do. But just press that down, and you can see what a beautiful image that gives already, isn't it? Just really, really lovely. So I'm going to then take this out of here, pop that. I'll pop Sam back later. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of watercolour here. So I've got some distress inks up the top here. So if you can see, I have got a bundled sage, a brushed corduroy, barn door, and stormy sky. So I'm going to colour my Sam in the brushed corduroy. So I've got my silicon matte. You could use your media matte or something like that. And I've got my water aqua painter pen, whatever. So I'm just going to pick up a bit of the colour, and I'm just going to colour in our little Sam. Now, I'm sure the same as humans, dogs are not all sort of one colour, and so I'm not going to be, that's why I think the watercolour is probably better for this, because, you know, dogs aren't just the solid one colour, are they? So if you're going to be doing the alcohol marker pens, unless you're really, really good at it, and I'm not purporting to be that at all, but you have got to work on your light and shade a little bit. And I just felt that, so that you could feel that you could all do Sam, we are just going to do the watercolour, so that where it does, when it dries, you'll see it darker in some places and you know, a bit patchy in others, which is fine. So just make sure I've got him in all the little places. Actually, I've just thought the other little one, he's a bit like oh my goodness, Stella, what is your little dog called? Not Reggie. Oh, my mind's gone blank. Stella, what's your dog called? I can't think. It's clean gone out of my head what his name is. Rodney. Of course it's Rodney. Yeah, don't you think? Where is it? Where have I put the stamps now then? Here they are. He's a potential little Rodney, isn't he? Or a little Alfie, maybe. Whatever. Right, so I've got my barn door, just taken a little bit of red to do his little cravat, because he's a very posh dog. Our Sam. Real Sam isn't. The real Sam is a tinker, to say the least. But, you know, maybe when he was a puppy like this little one, he might have been rather lovely then as well. Well, he is rather lovely. But I know Tessa doesn't think so always. So I've done those colours, and we need to sort of give him a little bit of a grounding. So I'm just going to take some of my bundled sage, put a bit of ink down on that, and then just give him a bit of a watery grounding just along here. So just literally so that he looks as if he's sitting on the ground as opposed to floating in midair. Yeah. He's rather beautiful, isn't he? So just very quickly, and hopefully you'll agree with me there that you really don't need to be, because I'm certainly not, skilled in any shape or form to get that like that. You can see that I've left white spaces. I've left them on purpose. Now, I need that to dry a bit quicker. So I'm just going to get my heat gun just to let that dry. Right from the other side as well. And Sam is your man. Okay, so Sam is done. Now I'm going to grab myself, you may recall I showed you this last week, I think it was, that I've got a magnetic sheet on one side, but on the other side, I've got my cutting sheet. And so that's what I'm going to use with my knife. And I'm going to, now, nice sharp knife, very, very careful. I'm going to just simply cut along the line of our Sam. Now, I'm not going to cut him out. I'm just going to probably down to about just where his tail is. And I'm just going to carefully, I'm going to have to cut his whiskers. Now, you do really need to have a craft knife for this because, well, I suppose you could do it with a pair of scissors, but I'm not going to have such a good job, I don't think. I'm going to go along this side to his little tie. And then a little bit down here, just about the same sort of depth down to about there. If you cut too much, it doesn't matter because it won't detract. So I'm just going to cut round his ear. And then, because I prefer to work like that, I shall just turn him around and cut little Rodney. I just thought of little Rodney. That's Stella's dog. He's a gorgeous one as well. All dogs are gorgeous though. Right, so have I loosened him? Yep, he's free. Sam is free. Okay, I'm now going to grab my squares again. And this time I'm going to take, now I'm not quite sure yet, so I won't tell you the number of it in case June's listening. Hold on, June. Hold on, June. Because I don't know which one I'm going to have yet. Because what I want to do, nope, smaller than that, is I want to give him a really big, wide aperture. Possibly even smaller than that one. Yeah. So that die was number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Die number 16, this one was, okay, if we're counting from the outside. Now, with my cutting side down like that, I'm going to lift Sam up and I'm going to pop my die behind our Sam. and cut an aperture out with him on the outside. Can you see what I mean there? So I don't want to cut Sam off in his prime, but I do want to cut an aperture out. So I've cut my image out. So it could be the kitten, it could be one of the mice, it could be anything. I've cut him out down to about there. I might need to trim a little bit more, not sure. And I need to just place, I think I do need to trim him a bit more. I need to place my aperture into the centre. So I'm just going to go down a little bit more so that I've got just a little bit extra room, a little bit of wiggle room. So in he goes. Let's tape him into position. Now this is going to be sort of like a bit of a, well, I was going to say hit and miss, but I don't mean hit and miss at all, do I? Hopefully a hit and a hit. And then pop some tape on, make sure he doesn't move, and run him through my machine. Don't forget, Sam is sitting on the outside of that bottom piece there. So just run that through the die. I'm going to team that up with a bit of antique copper cards. So bear with me a little minute whilst that one finds its way through. And then you can see what I mean. So we then carefully remove the tape and our die. Come on, Sam. And there we can see our little Sam is sitting outside of our frame rather beautifully, I say, if I say so myself. So now, whoops, let's put our die back. Now, that die was die number 16. This is die number 17. And I'm also going to go for die number 5. So I know it's lots of sorting out. Oh, but if you see what this will bring us a card that is going to then be just on the outside. Yeah, if you can see that, it's just going to give us a little bit there. So I can pop that into place. So it doesn't matter where that one goes. And then I'm going to line up my Sam so that gives me a little bit of a frame. And then carefully I'm going to slip in die number 17 and let there be a little bit of a frame there. So I have to be very careful with this one because I've got to take Sam out, but I've got to try and keep that die in place as well. But if you tape it down first, you should be about right. Let's put another little bit just on that side to be sure. So now I'm going to run that one through. Okay. Now, whoops. So when we bring this one out, we can see, oh, if I can do it, that we have now got a very wide frame in antique copper. The reason why I've gone for that is I thought it complemented Sam's colour, but obviously if you're doing a black dog, you might want to do it differently. And let us see which way round that goes. There we are. So when we put that down there, you've got then a border around the outside and another one on the inside, which I thought looked quite nice. Now, at this stage, I hope I don't ruin it because this is something that I thought of at the last minute. And so bear with me because I haven't even tried it. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking an old stencil of John Next Door, and it is an old one. One of the first ones I think he ever brought out with the moon and or the sun, whichever, clouds and mountains and all sorts. And all I wanted to do is just put a little bit of something on the outer bit, just to make it a little bit less stark. So I'm going to practice first, because I'm hoping that it was not going to, as I say, not going to ruin it. In fact, I think I had, that's actually the waist of it. I think I'm going to use the waist of it. So this came out of here, yeah. So I'm just going to take the Stormy Sky with a blending brush, and I'm going to be careful not to get these stark edges, because I don't want them, and very, very gently, and I shall move. I need to be a bit stronger than that, I think. Whoops. Put that back into place. Oh, sit. Damn. That's a bit better. Need a bit of colour on there, but not too much. And then I'm going to move my stencil over. So I'm just going onto the stencil. And can you see that I'm giving it a little bit of a clouds, just a bit. I don't want them to be really obvious. So I'm going to move my stencil over a bit so that we're trying to get a little bit of more reality. And then just do exactly the same again, bringing in that colour. And just be careful if you're using one like this that you're not going onto these stark edges here, because then it looks a bit daft. Do need to move it over again so that it looks real-ish. And I'm just going to keep adding a bit more till I get down to young Sam here, so that he looks as if he's amongst the clouds. Well, no, not amongst the clouds. Having a lovely day out down on the beach with his sisters and brother, like he likes. There you go. So again, very, very pale. Hopefully it will show better in the picture, but just to give it a little bit of a something there. Okay. Now, I think that I could actually, yeah, chop that up. So let's go for dye. I'm just going to, as I'm not measuring anything, I've just grabbed a slightly smaller die number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just so that I can have a bit of a background there, I think. Just run that one through. I mean, if you haven't got anything like that, just an ordinary bit of paper sort of ripped up a bit will do. You only need to have it sort of roughly there. Colour-wise, again, if you were doing it after your own little dog or something with slightly different colouring, all of which is possible, is it not? So, I think that will go behind that, yeah. Okay, so let's get our card together. So here's my 8x8 card blank, and with die number 3 I cut out my black piece of card. This is Craft to Linen card. I forgot what I was going to say now. Forgotten what I was going to say. It's the old age, I expect. What do you reckon? Is it the old age? Probably. That's going to go into the middle. So that's just my spare bit, which, to be fair, I used as my scrap. But that's okay, because that is going to go, as long as it didn't get too dirty, that's going to go more or less in the middle, like that. Then Sam the man, pop that to one side a minute. I've got to make sure that I've got it round the right way. No, no, it must be the very last one. There it is. Pop that onto there. So I'm going to stick that straight down. I haven't put any glue on Sam. He is going to float. Okay. I'm going to turn that over. And I'm going to grab my, hopefully my 3mm. Is that 3mm? Hold on. Tell you what, I'm going to be an absolute devil. And I'm going to use my 5mm. Oh my God, I haven't used this before. Are you excited for me? Well, it is my birthday. So I'm going to put 5mm tape onto the back. All it does is stop me from having to build up, really, because I do want this to be sitting quite proud. It's a proper frame with our Sam on. So I'm going to be putting two pieces like this on, but I'm not going to need to layer it up because I've got 5mm. So it's really quite deep. I've never bought the 5mm tape before. Whoops. Who's a star? Is it June's a star? The card that I'm using, which card are we talking about, Nettie? I'm not sure. The card that I'm using, this card here, is the Antique Copper, Pearl Foundation Antique Copper. Then I've got watercolour card, which is Dolly Dimple's mixed media card, I think, or something, because that's the hot press one. No, beg your pardon. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's Bockingford. Yeah, that's what it is, Bockingford. Or Terry will agree with that, whether it is or not. Is that what it's called, Terry? Bockingford? Cost a fortune unless you're lucky and get it in the right place. But if you don't like, yes, thanks, Terry. If you don't like textured, the cold press one, then that has to be done. Oh, Sam. Right, take all my tape off. And as you can see, I don't know if you did see them, but because it is so proud with the 5mm on, it's going to be a bit of a stunner, I reckon. So I've made sure that my orientation of my card is top folding. We wouldn't have wanted to have got this far and then realised that I had it upside down that I couldn't do anything with. Extra little bit of glue, and then just going to put a sentiment on, of which I have already cut out. So we will continue along the theme with a few more special offers. So do look out if you can. Let's just pop that there. Look out for a few more special offers yet to come. I've got a sentiment all ready to go here. I'm just going to pop 2 on here. So this one says just for you, because then I could make it any occasion. Whilst I'm putting that on, we had the best weekend for a birthday ever. So my younger son, the one that's getting married in just over 2 weeks' time, treated us to the weekend in Oxford. Very, very lucky because he is a fellow at Brasenose. And so we were in the fellows' guest rooms, which was quite undoubtedly the best view, if you're into Oxford, ever, in my opinion. And it was cooler, or despite the fact that it was 35 degrees, I don't do the heat, it was cooler there than it was in our house, because those walls, the building is 500 years old. And so I'm just sticking that right on top, so I've got a bit thicker. And so it was just the best. We were the only ones there. We had the whole suite to ourselves. Well, only ones there bar my son and his fiance. We went to see the wedding venue because that's where he's getting married. And the organist came for practice, so we heard, oh gosh, I could go on, but we just had the most fantastic time. And considering that I absolutely hate the heat, they had thought of everything they possibly could in order to make moaning Minnie Mother, that's me, not moan. And I didn't, because I was all right. They probably just couldn't be bothered to listen to her keep moaning, in actual fact. So I am going to put just for you into the centre. Now you need to just poke into there. See, I'm talking to the paper again. That don't get any better with age, does it? Right, just for you. There you go. And there is Sam the Man. So there you are, Tessa. This one's for you with our Sam. Shame you've had your birthday, because you could have had that for your birthday, but you can have it when I see you, because it doesn't matter whether it's your birthday or not. So there you go. That is our delicacy for this evening, which is using the puppy series from the Pink Ink Designs. There is also some kittens, and as I said, some of the little mices and mices. As I said, just really cute, but just, they are the same. Actually, the stamps themselves are the same size. So again, if you're not sort of into this sort of thing, but you've got someone that's a little girl that's into a ballet, you could just pop your little mouse down in that corner and then just cut around her ears. Don't worry about the whiskers and her hands, and just sort of chop her to about there, and that bit be free. So there's loads you can do, and the technique you can do with many other designs. So I do hope you have a go, and if you do, it'd be lovely to see what you've done. Let's get those bits out. So when will I be back? I will be back on Sunday with my craft kit for this month. So we had John Next Door one earlier this month, and we'll be back on this Sunday at 11 o'clock with my one, which is a little bit different. And I think that you're going to like it, because it's something a little bit different. So I think that you might quite like that little one. And then look forward to the bank holiday event. Now, just an advanced warning on the bank holiday event, and that is that I will be doing lives on the Saturday, the Sunday, and the Monday. Yes, I know. All at 11 o'clock. Well, I think so. I think it will be anyway. And they will all be themed around the same new collection that's coming out. So I hope you can join me for that one, but that's just a bit in advance. And of course, if you can't join me live on the time, you will of course be able to follow all of it online at any time under the Maximum Crafts section of YouTube. Talking of which, I think we need a few more subscribers. So if you have enjoyed watching this or any other one of my videos, do make sure that you go over and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You do have to have a Google account in order to do that, but I think most people have anyway, to be honest with you. It does mean that you can comment on here if you wanted to, but the more importantly is that every time that I'm on, you will get half an hour's notice if you press the little bell for notifications that I'm going to be on. You may not want to do that. You may, well, on the other hand, it could be that will give you half an hour's notice to make sure you've got something better to do, couldn't it? Let's face it. So whichever way you like to look at it, go and subscribe. I need to get those numbers up. I need to share and get those numbers up so that more and more people can share the love of craft that I have and have passed on to you. And as I said, I would, once again, you should see the cards that I have got. They are outstanding. And I'm so proud of every one of you that has sent it and have worked so hard. They are quite incredible. So have a great rest of the weekend, a week rather. I will continue to be birthday girl for at least another few days. And I shall I'll show you on Sunday what I got for my birthday. And I'll see you on Sunday at 11 o'clock. Hope you can make it then. Take care, everyone. Bye.